Hi guys, this is 12M Fields podcast and today we present to you different coping mechanisms and self-reflection. Today again we have a very special guest with us, That Girl Online Show, aka Sirisha Padmashekhar. So how are you? How have you been?
I'm great and I'm happy to be doing this with you guys today and it's really exciting.
Thank you. Would you like to, how was your experience recording with us and everything?
Like my experience with you guys is really great. You guys are the first people whom I did collab with, and
That's great.
That's like a milestone for my podcast journey.
Oh my god.
That's definitely a milestone for my podcast journey. Yeah, and later I did do collab with a lot of other podcasters, but you guys are the first and the special ones for sure.
Wow.
And I started listening. I started listening to your podcast more, and I'm glad that we connected and could create a small community and learn from each other. So it's been an amazing experience. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Like, it was for us also a very good experience, and it is also like our first time collaborating with someone who's also a podcaster. So we also got to learn so many new things.
Yeah, we always have fun whenever we collab with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's begin.
Okay, situation can many times get stressful, right? So for this, everyone has different coping mechanism. So what are your ways and why are they helpful to you?
So when we're facing something challenging in life, and if it is a new experience, we wouldn't have that amount of knowledge nor understanding about the whole situation, and we normally tend to take a step back or react very differently. And we're all humans, so we just grow and learn and try to understand the situation and people around us, and that's completely fine. But what's more hurtful is that when people around you don't understand you and you're just seen differently and judging you by just a small incident or something that just happened to you, and that's quite stressful. And when a person goes through all of that, like the way they cope is a challenging thing, and also not everybody knows how to cope up. So usually a lot of people, they kind of like become addicted to smoking or drinking or such things, and it's completely understandable and it's okay for a short amount of time is what I feel. But you should also have that awareness where it is not something that is serving you for good, and you have to know what is good for your health and what is good for your mental health also. And it's definitely difficult, but there are other ways to cope up with the same situation in a positive way and reflect back and come out really strong. I guess that's really important to keep in our minds, and it's easy to say, but it's something that even I'm dealing with. I usually try to, sometimes it's just really hard to even get up from bed or take care of yourself. And when all of that is happening, it's just really easy to stay that way, and it's like you would lose a lot of time and you would be the person at loss. So the best thing to do is just you would know what you're interested in, and you would know what brings a little bit of happiness inside of you. Say for me it's just recording podcast or editing or just making one poster. It just takes your mind off things, and I usually write or do something creative and just be by myself in my own space. And I try my best to stay away from social media and not have much contact with people, because I always believe that it's definitely okay to be dependable on someone and expect a lot from others, but there is always a downfall to it also, where nobody is available all the time for you. And sometimes when you start sharing something that had happened with you, you tend to feel a lot more connected to that person. So what I do is I mostly spend a lot of my time with editing podcasts and recording and trying to connect to podcasters and people in my community community who can, who has the like mindset as mine. And also I write, and I cook myself one good meal for me. So I just cook one good meal for the day, and I just, put on some good series. Like I started watching Peaky Blinders, and it's been a really good series. So, and also I take a walk outside, even if it is a bit late in the night. It's just always good to be with the nature. Just look people around you, they're just strangers, but see people laugh and have fun, and you just tend to blend into that situation, and it just feels so good. And bad coping mechanism I have is to shop. It's not that bad, but end of the month I'm like, I've burnt my pocket. Like, oh, I shopped a lot. But like, it's also good to a certain extent where, when I'm feeling really low, and when I'm not okay, I just gift myself something that I would want for a long time. I quite enjoy doing all of that. And also, I do journal. Like sometimes when you put out your feelings to other people, there's always a string attached to it where they may not understand, or they might judge you, or
so true.
Yes. So with journal, it's just you and your little space where you just went out and just write about all that you're feeling, and it's completely okay. So I guess journaling has helped me throughout that process where I would just write it all out and navigate through my feelings and just tell everything out. And there's this journal who doesn't judge me and doesn't say anything. It's just there, and like it's a wonderful feeling. And I think it's a very first step to being there for yourself. And also, it's a journey of self-love also. Just write it out, just have a reflection of what had happened, and through that process I did realize, see, you have done this mistake, or maybe what you did here wasn't right for that person, where you can actually put yourself in another person's shoe as well, and you can reflect back your emotions. So it gives you a lot of realization. And also I kind of write letters to myself, where it's just everybody has this, even though we talk a lot about self-love, or we talk a lot about that we're all positive, we do have negatives within us, and we are sometimes toxic to other people. That's difficult to understand, and it's really difficult to process it. But like sometimes the whole importance of self-reflection comes here, where you had to also realize that you have done mistakes, and it's completely okay. Nobody's here to judge you, because your journal wouldn't judge you. But that self-talk and that realization would come out when you're actually sitting by yourself, maybe sipping some coffee or going to a park, and like make yourself feel a little safe, better, and then you just draft down all that you're feeling, and then you see, okay, and realize maybe here I've done a mistake, or maybe there, that person have hurt me really bad in this. And like definitely you can't control what other people are to you and your surroundings, but you can completely change your perspective. And I always believe that your surroundings matter. So there are so many perspectives to it, and I guess the very first step to do is just isolate yourself from the toxic surroundings and just be by yourself and do a little bit of journaling and reflection, and that self-talk, where you would actually change your mindset and change yourself rather than change the people around you. Because even though you come out to so strong or try really hard to make them understand and to change the other person, it's not really possible. Because in science term, when a person hits 25, they have a full development in their brain, where the basic nature in them, in that person, will never change. People out there, don't try to change anybody. Change your mindset. I think people do get into a lot of bad ways to cope, hurt themselves, or get into smoking or drinking, or just hooking up with people, or like they just lose their track in life, and that's really sad. But like it's okay for a short amount of time where you're just trying to make yourself feel better and fit in, because your change is really difficult. So during the process of change, it is also difficult to be better all of a sudden, but you should know when to stop. You should know, okay, this has gotten way too long, and let's just stop doing all of this and get back to being that person you were. It's really difficult, but I think everybody should keep in their minds that you shouldn't be toxic to yourself. That is, so that's my take on self-reflection. self-reflection, and also there are many different ways to cope, but this is something that I just do. And what is it for you guys, so I can get in some insights and bring in a lot of change.
So, as you have said, I also do journaling, and it's the best thing you can do. And my method on self reflection is when I got to know that my behavior is changing, I'm not having a great day, I'm like facing a lot of shit and I'm feeling sad, irritated. Then I try to journal and give myself time and just try my best to realize what's the main problem. And I also do one, like, this is a kind of negative journaling, like you just rant out everything. Secondly, I also do positive kind of journal where you show gratitude, like Ishita teached me a lot on gratitude. So whatever good happened to you, you just be grateful for that. So that's also great kind of self-reflection, that yeah, if there are bad things, there are also good things in life. So yes, that's what I do.
Okay, so to cope up with anything I'm going through, mostly I'm irritated most of the time. I don't know why. So I clean mainly. I'm not an organized person, so I have to clean all the time. So I clean mainly, and I like to work out. I like to go on long walks while listening to some podcasts. I used to like listening to music, but since a few months back, I have started listening to podcasts, and listening to someone else going and struggling through life, even they are in their 20s. It's like because I'm 19 and life is so fast right now, and you just want to join that race and win it. So feeling and getting the validation that everyone has their own time to everything. So that helps me with that while listening to podcasts. And I do meditation, I do yoga. It depends on yoga. I don't do it regularly. I try to do it sometimes because it helps a lot with the my overthinking. Yoga literally helps. If you are an overthinker, I really recommend it to you. And besides that, journaling, of course, for sure. After reading this book by Gaur Gopal Das, Life's Amazing Secrets, I even posted a story on this. It's a very good book. I practiced in journal. You see everywhere that you should write 3 things at least you're grateful for. So I used to write that for like a couple of months or so, but I never really knew the importance of it. I just thought of it as something to be, you have to practice to be positive. But after reading that book, I realized that it not only comes with being a positive mindset, it also teaches how important it is to appreciate what you have right now instead of wanting for more. So being grateful is a very good practice. And yeah, and for the self-reflection stuff, journaling is like my go-to, and I've recently started shadow work. Shadow work is something, in which they ask the questions, like the prompts, very deep questions. So one of which I used was, what do you think killed your innocence while growing up? So it's a really good prompt, and I realized so many things and I got to know about myself. So that's what I do for self-awareness and reflection. And
That's great.
any last words for our listeners?
Yes.
Like
Do you
that's
wanna say?
that's important.
That's important.
It's definitely important, and I would always, like when I'm on an interview and people just ask me, "What are your last words?" And then there's just so many thoughts in my brain that I want to say this, I want to say that. But yeah, to everybody who's listening to the episode today, I just want to wish you guys that you're safe and happy and healthy, and you're taking good care of yourself. I just want to tell that with life, when it gets difficult, you need to find yourself, and you need to be there for yourself, and you need to be your best friend. And life would get simpler. Anything external is just external. What you are within is what you are. And try to take care of yourself, because you are really important in this world, and you're really precious. And there are so many people out there who love you, and find yourself in that aspect. And Tanya and Nishita here are doing an amazing job, and they're just 19, and I don't remember what I was doing at 19, but I was definitely not like them.
Oh my god.
So yes.
Stop.
So there are
It's
amazing
okay.
people out there. Just like Tanya said, gratitude is a great way to go. And always remember that what you have got in life, maybe somebody else is longing for that, and you
Yes,
having
so true.
putting out a lot of expectations out in the world is not going to do any good to you. And like just feel satisfied with what you have, and your journey will be amazing that way. where it's all about the mindset. It's all about how you see things. And sometimes when you feel unworthy, or when you feel not so in the good place, it's always good to fall back to gratitude. And what Ishita told about shadowing is something really new for me, and I would love to learn and do all of that. And I am definitely sure that I'm going to follow that. And it was a great insights that I learned from both of them. And sometimes when you're being a little open about what you're experiencing, it would really help others. Because when I started my podcast, I did have a lot of judgmental eyes on me, say, why is she telling it out loud? And I was like, I'm telling it because when somebody else is going through the same situation and they listen to my podcast, they would know definitely it may not be the right solution for them, but I would give them a new perspective. And that is what my podcast is all about. It's not to tell people what is right and wrong, but it is just to give them a different mindset and a different perspective in the way to approach things. And my podcast is just not about me, it's about everybody in it, And I just love my guests, and when they be a little open about what they're feeling and what they're experiencing, it does give out a lot of strength to do all of that. And when that is done, I think being that open on a show is quite difficult, because not everybody comes from the same walk of life, but they still do it because it's helping others. And I think people are still out there who are compassionate, who give a lot of love, and you just need to surround yourself with good people and just stay happy, healthy, and practice some journaling, definitely. And if you don't know much about journaling, nor you don't know anything about journaling, I think the first step is to just listen to Tanya and Ishita and just ask them for insights. You can always drop a message to me on Instagram at Thatgirlonlineshow, and you can listen to my podcast. And thank you for having me, guys, and thank you for listening to me rant for a long time. I just love today's session.
Thank you so much for joining us, and it was great chatting with you. And you speak so well, like literally so well.
Thank you.
She's awesome. What else?
Guys, I guess you don't know, she's not feeling well right now, even though she's recording this podcast. Thank you so much.
Oh no.
Yeah. Hope it turned out
well.
Of course it will.
Yeah, I always make sure that when I have something planned out for the day, sometimes
things don't go
not in the right place, but it cannot go well. But I feel the whole podcasting and having connection with other podcasters or other people, it comes with a great sense of responsibility for me. And I also need to, from my end, when I'm committed to doing something, or I would just do it. And I'm feeling a lot better, and it's just taking things off my mind. And I'm for a minute I just actually forgot that I'm actually sick. So that's
great to hear.
That's really a good thing. And I love having such deep conversations, and it's something that I enjoy doing. And why not, Sometimes when you're really sick is when you would have that ounce of energy also at the same time, where you just wanted to get up and do something. And I think I'm in that phase right now. So
okay, so guys, that was all for today's episode. We hope you liked it and got to learn about how we use coping mechanisms and how we cope up with stressful things in our life. And we really hope that you have good coping mechanisms and not you get into bad habits and stuff.
And hope you learned something about our journaling methods. And follow us on our Instagram, that Online Girl and 12 AM podcast.
And make sure to check out That Girl Online Show's Sirisha's podcast. She posts amazing content there, and on her Instagram as well.
We're gonna put a link in the description, so bitches go check out.
So that's it, we guess.
12 AM feels, and That Girl Online Show is signing off.
Bye, guys.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Yeah.